Women blame men for the declining marriage rate, ignoring how modern dating standards and feminism have reshaped relationships. Alright guys, welcome back to Alpha Talk. Today, we're diving into an article written by a woman who blames men for the plummeting marriage rate. She's pointing fingers at men because so many women in their 30s and 40s are single, unhappy, and unable to start families. Instead of women taking ownership, acknowledging that maybe the issue isn't just men, maybe it's also the choices women make, she's deflecting. Maybe it's the fact that nowadays, during their prime years in their 20s, when women in the past typically met their partners and settled down, women are prioritizing their careers. Feminism, starting in the 70s and continuing since, has hammered into women that they can do anything a man can do, and often better. They focus on being career women, with the expectation that just as many men will want them in their 30s as did in their 20s. Or as some people refer to it in the comments, they're riding the carousel, hooking up with bad boys and so forth. Meanwhile, all the really good guys out there, the ones they had a chance with, the ones who would have settled down with them in a heartbeat, they wouldn't give those guys the time of day. How many guys on this channel, watching my videos, have been in that exact situation? You were good guys in your 20s, treating women well, and those women wouldn't give you a second glance. They were either hooking up with the bad boys or dating guys in their 30s and 40s. But those guys in their 30s and 40s, they know darn well they're not looking for marriage. They're not looking for a big commitment. Those girls are for fun. Now, these women are in their 30s and 40s and guys don't want to get married either. Maybe they're successful and simply don't want to get married. Or they've gained knowledge over the years and know they can't trust women or love them in the same way. So they're just going to have their fun, and that's that. It's easier to blame us than to take ownership and admit, hey, maybe we made some mistakes. So I'm going to get right into it. The article's title is, Fewer People Are Getting Married Because There's a Shortage of Economically Stable Single Men. The study claims that marriage isn't as popular as it once was. In fact, the marriage rate in the US is the lowest it's been in at least 150 years, reports PBS. Well, good. That's a great thing, which means there will be a lot more happy men out there, not stuck in unhappy marriages. So good. The article continues, a new study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family offers one explanation as to why. Yeah, it may have one reason, but this is going to be interpreted as the reason. It says, there aren't enough economically attractive men, ones with a good income and a stable job for single women, to marry. So, in other words, all guys out there have no jobs, that's what they're saying. Or if guys do have jobs, they don't pay well enough for the women. I find that very hard to believe, knowing that all the guys I know have jobs, and they have decent jobs. But what they're saying is it's not enough money for the women. How many times have I told you? What's the number one most attractive thing to women? Money. Guys are earning potential. Now, a lot of women say, no, it's the drive behind the guy's money, it's ambition that's sexy and attractive. And that may be true, but let's be honest here. You can have a guy who is as ambitious and driven as can be. But if he's got nothing to show for it, good luck keeping a girl. Good luck attracting women for very long. You know, he may get her for one night, but beyond that, good luck. So, it boils down to bucks. But here's the thing, guys. As more and more women have professional jobs and so forth, they're making good money. They're not going to want a guy who makes less than that. Women are attracted to and will show respect to guys who are above them. That's where they're going to show respect. That's where they're going to be drawn. More and more, guys have more success. Guys have higher status. I did a video about this a few weeks ago, and it's true. So, if you have a lot more women now in the workforce, as there are, and they have more professional jobs, you're going to have fewer guys at the top. So, you have a whole ton of women who want a small percentage of the guys. If you have a woman who makes $90,000 a year, she's not going to be as attracted to a guy who makes $75,000, because he's beneath her in her mind. Even though, for most of the country, if you have a woman making 90 grand a year and a dude making 75, they're living pretty darn comfortably, okay? But in her eyes, he's not making enough because she obviously earns more. And that's what's happened in this day and age, and that's just female nature. They're always going to go for the top guys. But if women are obviously making a lot of money, there are only so many guys above them. If a guy's making $150,000 a year, or $130,000, and she's making $90,000, then they'll be attracted to him, then he'll be economically stable. But this idea that all these guys out there aren't working and don't make enough money. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a whole generation of young guys raised by single moms and haven't had the male influence to give them that competitive drive and so forth, thanks to, guess what? We all know what and so forth. That's true. But still, the majority of guys out there obviously have their jobs to pay the bills and take care of themselves. So, it isn't just us, and we all know this, but they want to put the blame on us. Alright, I'm going to stop my rant here and continue with the article. It says, in the study, researchers examined couples in heterosexual marriages from 2008 to 2012, and then again from 2013 to 2017, compiling character profiles and education and income levels of the husbands. When they analyzed the pool of available men for these economically attractive traits that demographically similar single women might look for, there was a shortage of potential matches. Oh yeah? Well, why don't you say what's really going on here? Again, women who make a certain amount of money don't want guys who make less than them. We all know this, but no one's going to have the balls to actually say it and put it in print. A new study says that one explanation for the decline in marriage in the U.S. is the short supply of economically stable partners for unmarried women to marry. More, the researchers hypothesize, pay attention to that word, than potential husbands for the single women have an average income of nearly 60% higher than the actual pool of available men. They were also 30% more likely to be employed, and 19% more likely to have a college degree compared to current bachelors. Well, look, in this day and age, you don't need to go to college to do well for yourself. I mean, let's be honest here. How many people have gone to college, gotten these degrees, and walked out with giant student loans, and the job they do get doesn't justify the money they spent on these worthless college degrees? Nowadays, you can get yourself a good trade and make a darn good living. But again, what they said here about bachelor's degrees in college, again, doctor, women, and status. You could have a guy who owns his own garage, makes good money as a mechanic, more money than the woman. But because he didn't go to college, and he owns a garage, he works with his hands, he's blue collar, he's not good enough. He's not economically stable, as they say. They want the guy with status, who has these college degrees, who makes more money than them, and so forth. But a lot of guys. I didn't graduate college because I dropped out to start my first business. I did very well with my first business, and now I'm doing well for myself again with my personal trading business, even though right now I can't work because of the damn coronavirus. And I'm always looking for new ways to make more money and so forth. So, there would be a lot of women who wouldn't give me the time of day until they knew, obviously, that I make good money and so forth. But again, status, and money. In other words, the researchers say there's a shortage of available men who are economically attractive, which they define as partners with either a bachelor's degree. See bachelor's degree or incomes of more than $40,000 a year. It says, while the focus on finances might sound shallow, at least they're saying, that, or at least not very romantic, lead author Daniel T. Lichter, Ph.D., a professor at Cornell University, tells Yahoo Lifestyle that money matters in marriage. Money matters, yeah. You obviously need money and income to pay the bills and so forth, take care of the family and the kids, but we know what it's really about. He says, and he's quoted as saying, economic stability is a key to a stable family life, to getting married, staying married, and marrying well. Physical attractiveness may provide an initial filter that draws our attention, but economic considerations and shared values matter much more in the long term. A good job attracts and retains suitable marital partners, and this is true for both men and women. Well, I'm going to stop right there and say, when it comes to us guys, for me personally, I like to. I'm interested in women who are obviously professionals, because I don't want any crazy chicks who have nothing to lose. But I also want somebody who's kind of in my own tax bracket, so they're not using me, they can take care. They make good money for themselves and so forth. But I'm not going to be attracted to a woman simply because she has an advanced degree or she makes a lot of money. I don't care if she makes $10 million a year and she has a PhD. If I'm not physically attracted to her, I wouldn't touch her with a 100-meter pole. And that goes for the rest of us too. And it says here, obviously, not every woman or man wants to get married. There are some women who don't want to get married or have kids, I do know some. And even those who do want to get married are not putting a ring on it, or are doing so later in life. According to U.S. Census Bureau data, most young people today no longer marry as teens or when they're in college, says Lichter. In the past, high schools and colleges brought similar young people together in a common space where they would meet, form romantic attachments, and perhaps marry. Delayed marriage now means that young people today must find compatible mates elsewhere, in the workplace, in the neighborhood, at the local gym, bar, or club. Well, not the workplace anymore, not thanks to Me Too. For women, finding a partner with similar educational backgrounds may also get harder. Women are more well-educated than ever before. It is estimated that 2019 will be the first year that women make up the majority of the college-educated labor force, according to a Pew Research Center analysis. And while there is still a gender pay gap, as more women become financially independent, that may help shift things on the marriage front. Lichter says that finding potential male partners who are economically secure, they keep saying that, may not matter as much when women are the financially secure ones. That's women are always going to want guys who make more money than them, or, at the very, very least, make the same thing and are on par in terms of degrees. But the ones that they find economically attractive, like I said, are going to be the guys who make more money, are higher than them. That's just how women are. This is already becoming more common. In the past, it was the case that young women usually married up in education or in socioeconomic status, but this is no longer true. Increasingly, young women are marrying men with less education than themselves, he continues. This is due in part to a shortage of similarly educated men, but women today are also looking for more than a good provider. They want an egalitarian partner to share their lives together. So, instead of blaming them and taking ownership of why they're not married, why they don't have the families they want, and so forth, it's much more convenient, easier to blame us guys. So, I make these videos just to help you guys be aware of what's going on and see how things have been going and are going and so forth. But like I said, it boils down to dollars and cents, guys. So if you guys, like I said, I always want you guys working hard, improving yourselves, getting your lives in order, becoming more successful in all areas. Get your body in great shape, dress well, get your finances in order, start your own business that you always wanted to, things like that. You do it for you, but as a byproduct of that, and if it's what you want, that will help you in the department with women. That will help you attract better quality women, because women want guys who are higher than them, they made up. You can have all these feminists putting out their influence out there, but let's be honest, most women aren't these crazy feminists. They just shut up and go along with what these crazy big mouth feminists say. But they're going to be influenced to a degree, or more so. But they're always going to be looking for guys who obviously do better than them. That's what they're going to be attracted to. Alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below, let me know what you think about this. And also, be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I will talk to you next time.